Hi, welcome. This is Rooney207 again. I wanted to touch base today on League of Kingdoms and wanted to, as we currently in the middle of week four and wrapping up continent versus continent this Sunday, I wanted to kind of present a minimum viable product. I'll update this document later on, but I want to just put together something quick to help folks, and especially as they're preparing for the rookie league. Maybe it'll be more helpful, and I'll update this as I have a little bit more time to clean it up. But I wanted to just present, share, on how to prepare for war. Essentially, in terms of your troop, you want to focus on the HP, attack, defense, and speed. And you want to collect the charms that reflect the same thing for HP, attack, defense, and speed. Skills, you want skill buffs. You want to look and turn on all your skill buffs there. And then you want to turn on your anti-scout because you don't want your enemies or your opponent to know what you currently have in your city and some of the resources and things like that. You want to debuff enemies as requested by your rally leaders, and also the folks that are taking defense at the gate and things like that for defending the gates and fortresses. You want to conserve your teleports and shields, use them wisely, as they're difficult to get and it takes a while to accumulate them. Preset your troop allocation and mix for rallies, infantry, archery, archer, and cavalry. That one, there's a button. I think there's four. You have four buttons for troop allocation. You can preset it, which is pretty nice. I wish they provide the same option for the mastery reset because that takes the longest. You have 80 points to allocate, and I think as you do them more often, it becomes faster, but it's takes a little bit of time. And then if you're going to take the rally, keep in mind that you want to only keep the maximum hospital capacity, whatever is your maximum is for defending your city, and you want to send the rest away. This way, you don't have to worry about it. Your troops having higher mortality and death, and having to also heal a lot of your troops. That's one way to kind of optimize your points as well. In terms of the battle treasure setups, and if these are not available or something similar, you want to use something that's like HP boost type treasury as the secondary one that will help you the most. So the typical one that depending on your configuration and what you're trying to do and your objective, but these are the pretty popular ones amongst the meta players, the top players, the Dragon Slayer, Heart Seeker, the Dragon Teeth Bow, Perditions, the Heavenly. This is the Perditions Blade and Heavenly Berry, and then the Heart of Star. So these six are typically, so you want to max some kind of combination of you want to get them to 5-star, these legendary treasure sets as quickly as possible. So you want to focus on that and prioritize it. Then there are secondary ones, the purple ones, and these are just some of the ones I'll highlight. I'll go into a little bit more detail later on, maybe to kind of do in attributes. Like the Hannah Vampire is good too because that's HP based as well. Dragon's Fang is another one that's pretty popular. And then there's 80 points for the mastery reset, and I hope in the future that Lock and N Plus will their developers will build in the same preset configuration, allowing you to navigate and just pay for the reset token every time you reset it. You select it, so this way it gives you an opportunity to do monsters or Spartoids configuration. One where you're defending with a certain configuration, and one you're attacking, and then one you're becoming the rally leader. So it's just different combinations that allows you to. And then if you're also different size troop allocation, if you're going for maximum or a smaller set of troops and things like that. So it kind of helps you with these mastery configuration. So some of the ones that are typically setup. And considerations are the cavalry piece, and the mortality is important. The combat, troop reinforcement, and the troop buff. And then the infantry. I think infantry is probably the most important for battle, and then archery is second, and then cavalry is third. So typically, people have smaller mix troops, and they mix percentages of cavalry relative to the infantry and the archery. And then when you're looking at some of the other the meta leaders, the ones that are leading the rally and taking a lot of the hits and things like that. They typically have, these are the optimal 80 points allocation: 25 to infantry, 31 archers, 13 to combat, and 11 for the governor. And as you can see, they're not focused on allocating any points to cavalry. Cavalry tends to be the weakest, and then also many of them are using this other configuration: the Celestial Shield, Perdition's Blade, Heavenly Berry, the Dragon Slayer, Dragon Teeth Bow, and also the Dragon's Fang or Heart of Star. So they're, as you can see, they're kind of avoiding a lot of the cavalry uh, treasures and the setups. This is an example of some of the minimum points that you want to consider for the governor's mastery. For the archery mastery here, you can see the setup. And then this is the infantry piece, and sometimes you can add more points to the infantry depending on how you want to configure, if you have more infantry troops and things like that. So this is the nice part: if they had the ability for you to pay for the mastery reset and just toggle and just hit the switch, you can select them based on the available number of troops, and you can train differently, and you can kind of mask and be more strategic as you're preparing, because the game lags a lot, and unfortunately, sometimes you have very limited time to react and to prepare it. And sometimes even if you try, the game just lags, and you just need to reset. So hopefully the lag will be improved. And so this is the 13 minimum 13 points allocated towards combat mastery. This is something to kind of consider. The last item is the week 4, how to approach it and your strategy. So week 4, you want to focus on healing versus training, unless you're a top tier player. Training troops is very expensive, and you want to try to optimize your points, because if you're not a rally leader, chances are you're not going to most likely finish in the top 10 of the overall from the individual standpoint. So you want to maximize your loca, and you want to play to your best and focus on what it is that you can do to support your alliance and your continent to maximize the points. So you want to focus on troops supporting the top tier players for rallying for maximum CVC points for your alliance or your continent. Avoid taking rallies. Support your alliance's top players at the gates and the fortresses, and also their city. When their city are being rallied, it's good to support them, because you have fewer mortality, and they know what you're doing. Their chances are, the super vast majority of the time, they'll always have the best treasures and the best mastery setups, and they're more prepared than the typical player. Focus on as high mastery, as high monster as possible for max healing points, and this is a function that during week 4 healing, you do get 3 points per heal. So it's a good opportunity to kind of catch up, especially if it's slow and you're waiting for the next gate to open, and you have really no way to gain points optimally. And this is a way to just incrementally add to your point. I think for one day it's like 50,000 troops or something like that you can heal. So it's okay. It's not great. Items to purchase from the Alliance shop. You want to look at the mastery resets and the Alliance teleports. Typically, you get a lot of VIP points or credits already within CVC, So you typically wouldn't necessarily buy them, and you probably don't really want to do speed ups necessarily because there is a 3 hour speed up option from the Alliance shop, but typically you have enough crystals. You can buy like the 30 days. Even from the regular shop, you have 13,000 crystal versus the 6,500 from the VIP that you get once a week. So there's that consideration. You want to buy regular teleport shields and action points every time they're available from if you're awarded medals. So I think it's good to kind of plan ahead and buy these. And because you never know, like for my situation here, I end up needing way more shields than I really anticipated. But it's good that I had continued to buy them when I really didn't need to. So this is it for this video for preparing for war in League of Kingdoms continent versus continent, and I'll continue to update this document. Thank you so much for your time.